Is that what you're saying, Mataji? Or just the...
Shloka. We will read chapter 17, shloka, and meaning of it. So you can start, Prabhuji. You can start the first shloka.
Okay, yes, Mataji, I'll do. Dhanyavad, Mataji, for let me do it. Hare Krishna. Chapter 17, the division of faith. Then you want me to recite the sloka as well and the meaning of it, right? Translation.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
The division of faith. Arjun Maharaj Uvacha. Isastra vidimutsujya yajante shraddhayanvitaha Teshanistatuka Krishna Tattvam Ahorajastamaha. The translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjun Maharaj inquired, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scriptures but worship according to their own imaginations? Are they in a goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? How many you want me to read? One or two, a few, or somebody else?
Uh, you may read two shlokas, Prabhuji.
Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Trivida bhavati shraddha dehinam sa svabhavaja satviki rajasi chaiva tamasi cheti tam shanu. Translations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance. Now, hear about this. Hare Krishna Mata. Somebody else,
Hare,
please.
Hare Krishna. Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata shraddhamayo yam purusho to yachraddha sa eva saha. O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one develops a particular kind of a faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the mode he has acquired. यजन्ते सात्विका देवान् अन्यक्ष अक- यजन्ते सात्विका देवान् यक्षरक्षांसि राजसः प्रेतान् भूतगणाश्चैन्य यजन्ते तामसज्जना janaha. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigod, those in the mode of passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits.
Okay.
Hari bol. Anybody else would like to?
Hare Krishna, chapter 17, verses 5 and 6. Ashastravitam ghoram tapyante ye tapojanaha dambhahankar संयुक्तः कामराग बलान्वितः कर्षयन्तः शरीरस्थं भूतग्राम अचेतसः मां चैवान्त शरीरस्थं तान् विद्या असुरनिश्चयान्. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish, and who torture the material elements of the body, as well as the super soul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. Hare Krishna.
Sumati Mataji,
Hare
are you
Krishna.
there? Yeah.
Yes, Hare Hare Krishna. Sumati is reading. Aharastvapi sarvasya trivido bhavati priya yagnastapasata danam tesham bhedam mimam shunu. Translation. Even the food each person prefers is of three kinds, according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifices, austerities, and charity. Now here are the distinctions between them. आयुसत्त्वाबलारोग्य सुखप्रीतिविवर्धना रस्या स्निग्धा स्थिरा हृद्या आहारा सात्विका प्रिया. Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and gives strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. Hare Krishna.
Anybody? Okay, Prabhuji, you may go ahead again.
Okay, text number 9. Katvam amla lavanati ushna tiksa ruksa vidahina ahara rajashasesta dukkha sukha maya prada. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the modes of passion. Such food causes distress, misery, and disease. Text number 10. Yatiyamam gatarasam puti paryusitam chayat uchistam apichamedyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed, and putrid, and the food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. Next person, please.
Text number 11. अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञो विधिदिष्टो य इज्यते यष्टव्यमेवेति मनः समाधाय स सात्विकः. Of sacrifice, the sacrifice performed according to the direction of the scripture as a matter of a duty by those who desire no rewards is in the mode of goodness. अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थमपि चैव यत् इज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठ तं यज्ञं विद्धि राजसम्. But the sacrifice performed for some material benefits or for the sake of a pride, O chief of the Bharatas, you should know to be in the mood of passion. Hari Bol. Actually, three are connected. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhuji. Please go ahead.
विधिहीनम् असृष्टान्नं मन्त्रहीनम् अदक्षिणं श्रद्धाविरहितं यज्ञं तामसं परिचक्षते देवद्विजगुरु प्राज्ञ पूजनं शौचमार्जवम् ब्रह्मचर्यम् अहिंसां च शारीरं तप उच्यते. Any sacrifice performed without regard for the direction of scripture, without distributing of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting of Vedic hymns and remunerations to the priest, and without faith, is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Austerity of the body consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors, like the father and mothers, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sumati is reading. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya bhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. Text 16. Mana prasada somyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityat tapo manasamuchyate. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. Hare Krishna.
Anybody who joined now would like to read these two shloka? We are reading chapter 17. So Gita Mataji joined and Valerie iPhone I see.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
And Hare Krishna everyone. So you want me to read the text 17 or the shloka?
Yes. 17 and 18. Yes, Mataji. Please go ahead. Shloka and translation.
Okay, thank you Mataji. Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapastatri vidham naraha apalakan sibhar yukta sat satvikam parichasate. The threefold austerity performed with transcendental faith by men not expecting material benefits but engaged only for the sake of the Supreme is called austerity in goodness. Text number 18. Satkar mana pujartham tapo dambena chaiva yat kriyate tat tha prakotam rajasam chalam adhuravam. Penance performed out of pride and for the sake of gaining respect, honor, and worship is said to be in the mode of passion. It is neither stable nor permanent. Thank you, Mataji.
Hari bol.
Hari bol.
Prabhuji, go ahead.
Okay. Text number 19. मूढग्राहेणात्मनो यत्पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा तत्तामसम् उदारतम्. Penance performed out of foolishness, with self-torture, or to destroy or injure others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Text number 20. दातव्यम् इति यद्दानं दीयते नुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं श्रुतम्. Charity given out of duty without expectation of a return at the proper time and place and to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness. Hare Krishna. Next person, please.
Hare Krishna. यत्युपकारार्थे फलं सदृशं वा मुनः. No, I'll read it again. यत्युप्रत्युपकारार्थं फलमुद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसं स्मृतम्. But charity performed with the expectation of some returns or with a desire of fruitive result or in a grudging mood is said to be charity in a mode of a passion. अदेशकाले यद्दानम् अपमा यद्
Patrish.
अदेशकाले यद्दानम् अपात्रेभ्यश्च दीयते असत्कृतं वज्ञातं तद्दानं समुदाहृतम्. And charity performed at an impure place at the improper time to unworthy person or without proper attention and respect is said to be in a mode of ignorance.
Hare Krishna. Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanas trividah smritah brahmanas tena vedascha yagyascha vihitah pura. From the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Tasmad Om iti udaritya yagya dana tapah kriyaha pravartante vidhanokta satatam brahmavadinam. Therefore, transcendentalists undertaking performances of sacrifice, charity, and penance in accordance with scriptural regulations begin always with Om to attain the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Smriti is reading. Taditya anabhisandhaya phalam yagna tapakriya dana kriyashcha vividha kriyante mokshakankshibhi. Without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. Text 26-27. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sad itya etat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha sakchabda partha yujyate yagne tapasi dane cha sthita sad iti chochate karma chaiva tad arthiyam sad itya eva vidiyate. Translation. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Pritha. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, only last shloka remain. Gita Mataji, you may read that.
Yes, Mataji. Text number 28. Um, Ashradhaya hutam datam tapas taptam kritam chaya asad itya uchayate partha nacha tat pretaya no ihaha. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Partha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in life and the next. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. So, in this life or next life, everything is considered as a asad if we are doing this kind of a charity, sacrifices, and penances without the faith. That is what it is written. And faith in whom? Faith in Supreme Personality of a Godhead. So, every and each activity of ours should be offered to Supreme Personality of a Godhead. So today we were reading this complete chapter, so we know what is the flow, what is the intention of this chapter. So here Krishna is talking to Arjuna and explaining him that how faith or Shraddha, they are of many kinds. I mean, three main kinds. It is explained here. Again, there are many layers in between. So there is a goodness, passion, and ignorance. And Krishna explains that because the Shraddha is related to the activities that person is performing, so he's carefully talking to Arjuna about the austerities, various type of austerities, various type of food that we eat, and various type of charity that we do, how they are all can be categorized into mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. It depends on the consciousness behind the uh, behind doing that activity, and not only consciousness, but how you are following it, what you are following. My consciousness might be really good. I mean, just 2 days back. In our morning class, Prabhuji was saying that sometimes we are very excited and we said that, oh, today is Janmashtami and I want to feed Krishna something. We are just getting up from the bed, and because we are running out of time, so we are not even properly cleaning ourselves and just rushing to the kitchen without taking shower. We are cooking something and offering to Krishna. So even if the intentions are good, still you have to follow some rules and regulations. So it's not that like Prabhupada always says that, like, do not follow the rules and regulation very rigidly. It becomes very mechanical, like a robot you are doing it. So there should be a bhav, there should be a consciousness, because Krishna is definitely looking for that bhav. He has everything. I mean, Lakshmi Mata is feeding him 16,100, like his wives in Dwarka. They are cooking. They're all Lakshmi's expansion and cooking like wonderful food for Krishna. He's having millions of devotees who's offering wonderful things to Krishna. So what we can offer him, right? But what we can offer him is, it should be with a wonderful consciousness, with a bhav. And he is only bhavagrahi Janardana, he is only taking the bhav. But at the same time, because we are saying all the time about the consciousness and bhav, sometimes we feel that why to use the rules and regulations. And that is what exactly Arjuna was trying to ask Krishna, that, like, some people are not even following the scriptures. They are just doing whimsically this kind of pujas and everything. So we have to understand that, like, we have to follow scripture for regulative principle, minimum things that is given to us by Prabhupada, that we have to follow. We have to follow that, like, cleanliness, consciousness, and the way to offer Krishna, the mood to offer Krishna, and that is the right way of doing any kind of a charity, any kind of a austerity, or honoring the food. I mean, honoring food itself is a yajna. We are putting it into the Agni, which is there in the stomach. There is a Agni, we saw that in the 15th chapter, and there we are putting each and every bite we are putting inside our stomach or inside our body. It is like you are putting the havi inside a yagya. So in that mood, you should be honoring the prasadam. And that will definitely give you wonderful consciousness, each and every cell that your memory or your brain tissues, all those are developed by eating that prasadam with that wonderful consciousness. It is very different than what people honor in the they are not even honoring, they are just pushing food inside their stomach, or just for the satisfy the tongue they are eating various kinds of the food which are not told by the shastras. So there should be balanced in how much to follow and what to follow. Sometimes very rigidly people follow, and they lose, what is the essence of actually offering to Krishna, or essence of doing this charity. And that's why it is said that like the charity, it is done in a very just to get something in returns, just so that like people will say great things about me, or just that like so with some expectation, then these charities are not very helpful. But worst than that is then charity done in very bad mood, and you are just throwing money at someone in a like really you don't want to, but you are forcefully doing it. So that kind of a charity is again worst than what we talked previously, because that is in a mode of ignorance. So various things Krishna explained. We were supposed to read the shloka number 14, 15, and 16 today. So Sumati Mataji, can you read the shloka and purport and translation, everything for the shloka number 14?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Text 14. देवद्वज गुरुपज्ञा पूजनं शौचमार्जवं ब्रह्मचार्यम् ahimsa cha shariram tapa uchyate. Translation. Austerity of the body consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Text 15. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. Text
Yes.
16.
Wait, Mataji. Have we done 14 before?
Mataji,
No? Okay.
14 should be discussed.
15 should be discussed, right?
No, 14 should be
14
discussed.
should be. So, Mataji, can you please read the purport also?
yes,
14.
Mataji.
Yeah.
The Supreme Godhead here explains the different kinds of austerity and penance. First, he explains that the austerities and penances practiced by the body, one should offer or learn to offer respect to God or the demigods, the perfect, qualified brahmanas and the spiritual master, and superiors like the father, mother, or any person who is conversant with Vedic knowledge. These should be given proper respect. One should practice cleansing oneself externally and internally, and he should learn to become simple in behavior. He should not do anything which is not sanctioned by the scriptural injunctions. He should not indulge in sex outside of marriage life, for sex is sanctioned in the scripture only in marriage, not otherwise. This is called celibacy. These are penances and austerities as far as the body is concerned. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Mataji, any comments on this? Or you can take some time, think about this, and then comment on it. Anybody wants to talk anything about this verse? Let me hear first, and then I will.
On the subject here, the celibacy has been discussed here, which is here. There's two different way has been explained in scriptures and other than scriptures as well. The celibacy, particularly Guru Maharaj is expressing within a marriage life, opposite genders, But in some celibacies, it's been explained like totally having no contact on other sex, other genders, So here Prabhupada is saying only within the marriage, celibacy has been practiced. So would you discuss more about it, Mataji, if you please?
So you are saying that like Prabhupada's celibacy definition you want me to explain, right?
Yeah, and there's other people has been totally celibacy. Opposite genders is not been in any context of it, totally. No.
Yes, yeah. So celibacy is basically what we understand at brahmacharya. So at the varnashram system, so ashrams are divided into four different parts. There is a brahmacharya ashram, there is a grahastha ashram, there is a vanaprastha ashram, and there is a sannyas ashram. All these four ashrams, we can maintain the celibacy, even though only brahmacharya ashram is considered as a brahmacharya means not having a sex. That is what is a definition we had been listening since the childhood. And we think that, like, that is the definition. But here Prabhupada is explaining that how at the every ashram we can maintain this celibacy. So when you are young, when before the marriage, when you are in the brahmacharya ashram, you are supposed to maintain the celibacy as Prabhuji is explaining, where you are not even going to have a thought about the other woman or any kind of the sex activities. And you I mean it is not exactly the action, but even the thoughts are considered to be abominable in that case, that, like, you are breaking your celibacy. And there are some who are able to maintain that throughout their life. uh, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he's Prabhupada's guru, and when he and his friends, I mean, they all he made that vow, that, like, or he made that group, that, like, we will be ajanma brahmachari, that is a naishtik brahmachari also it is called. But not everyone was able to maintain that. Only Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was able to be maintain that brahmacharya till the end of his life, and that is called as a naishtik brahmachari. That is like he never got married, he never even thought about any kind of a woman, he was never allowing woman to even come next to him. So this kind of a brahmacharya he maintained throughout his life. Now, some of us who are in a grahastha ashram, we can also have a rules and regulation, and there is a ways in which we can also maintain our brahmacharya. So how we can do that? That is Prabhupada explained, because he's Krishna is also talking to a grahastha who is Arjuna, and Krishna himself is also a grahastha. So in a grahastha life, how you can maintain the celibacy, that is explained here. And that is said that, like, not having the thought of sex when you are not even want any kind of a children. I mean, not even outside the marriage. Outside the marriage is the definitely illicit sex is not at all advised. I mean, you cannot even thought about anyone else. But Prabhupada was very strict that, like, even you can't be in the same room with your even mother, with your daughter, with your sister also alone. So that is what Prabhupada said, because many places in Bhagavatam it is given that our senses and our particularly uh, senses, that is like, forcing us for the sex activities, they are very very there, it's a force. I mean, you can't even stop that, so why take risk? And that is why it is suggested and strictly followed by all the grahastha in ISKCON. And of course there are many other sampradayas, they also follow these activities, that, like, you should not be alone with even your the closest relative, but if they are of the opposite gender, you should not be alone in the same room. Then also, so what to think about the other other people, and the opposite sex should not be alone in any time, any room. Then it is said that, like, outside the marriage sex is not at all allowed, but inside the marriage also you should have only allowed when you want a Krishna conscious children. If when only you want to beget a children, And because here in the Bhagavad Gita only Krishna said that calm, that is pure calm, that calm without any of the lusty desire, that pure calm is me. So Krishna is also not asking to stop, or like, he's directing the calm very nicely. In Bhagavad Gita itself he's talking about that, in the 7th or 9th chapter, that he's Krishna is explaining that, like, how I am also calm. So that force of, like, being with, like two opposite sex, coming together, that force is also me, if it is for the better and a greater intention, it is to beget the children, then that pure calm is me. So here Prabhupada is saying that only that type of a activities between the two opposite sex is allowed, and that is still you are maintaining the celibacy, because your intention is just to beget the children which will be Krishna conscious, to whom you are going to give the Krishna conscious activities, and that is why that is also considered as a celibacy. That is what I understand.
Mm. Yeah, I know, but in today's world, it's getting all different, Mataji, because same sex,
Yes,
gays and lesbians and oral sex and all has been developed. I mean, it's
yes,
been there since centuries, not developed. It's been there for many centuries.
yes.
So it's not been explained in the books, but sculpturally, you see on the temple sculptures, many
And that is,
accents of.
yeah, yes. And that is the reason it is not like the way we say brahmacharya is like not stopping completely, but it is a restricted. So restricted. Do not do the activities that is like, that is what you were talking about just now. So do not do that activities. The activity, it is a restricted, but you are still allowed. So grahasthashram is all about, like, you can have money, earn money, you can, kind of, you are enjoying that also, you are enjoying with the opposite sex also, but it should be restricted. If you do it like unrestricted, then there will be like so much chaos. And as you are saying that, because the Brahma itself was given an order to, create this whole world, and he was requesting each and every his son to beget children, to start this. So it was never ever said that no to the calm in our scripture, because that is how the life started. He was, in fact, the four Kumaras wanted to save themselves, and they said no. So Brahma got so angry that, because of his anger, through his middle of his forehead, uh, Rudra, or Lord Shiva's one of the part of Lord Shiva, he incarnated. And then he asked Shiva also to, increase the population. But when Shiva and Parvati, when Shiva was started increasing the population, they were all having, like, the population came into, like, mode of ignorance. And then they were very angry, and there were so many qualities that Brahma asked them to stop, and then he created the other his children, and many other rishis, and they were all given this responsibility. So in our scripture it is there, because from the very beginning it is asked by Brahmadev to do it, so that, like, we will have the more population. So complete stopping that, it was very hard. And in today's world, it is like almost like impossible, but still we see some people doing it. But it is said that, like, at least you should have some restriction on that.
Yeah, because it's Mother Nature's creations, Mataji, right? That's
Right. Yes.
two opposite sexes. Creation is the gateway for the new soul come on earth, right?
Right,
That
right, right.
otherwise, how the population maintains by the Mother Nature. So the
Yes,
forces of the uh, sexual activities is done by the Mother Nature, right?
yes,
It's in creations, because other souls, the Mother Nature want to put other souls on the earth, on the material world. So its requirements, it becomes
yes.
kind of required.
Yes,
Uh,
so it is by the mother nature, it is a material mother nature, but if it is done with what consciousness, that is what Krishna says, that then I come into picture. So cooking and eating is like, because we are hungry, so that is a force again. But how we do it, in what consciousness we are offering to the Krishna and honoring the prasadam. So that is like we are everything in the material, we are changing it to the spiritual with our consciousness. So sex activities, even if that force is by mother nature, how in where uh, we are doing it, in what consciousness we are doing it, it is very important. And in Bhagavatam it is given that like how the great personalities also fell down. I mean, they are also not able to control their forces, and because that is also very difficult to come out of it. So we have to just pray to Krishna that we should not fall for that. So that is just one part of it. But this shloka is talking about the austerity of body in very different ways. That like, how you can serve your spiritual master, how you are going to the temple, taking trouble to go to the temple, you are offering the obeisances. Sometimes it's difficult to bend down, but you are bending down, you're offering obeisances to Lord's duty, you're offering obeisances to your spiritual master, taking pain to cook for them, or taking pain to do their some sort of a service to them. Yesterday only my Guru Maharaj was saying in the book distribution seminar that there were people at the time of Prabhupada that they were doing the book distribution in such a cold winter that when they came home they said that we can't even feel our hand. In that cold weather they were doing the book distribution. There are people in India, then in a very bad heat they are doing the book distribution. So why they are taking this pain? This is all called as a austerity, that they are, it is like voluntarily you are taking this pain, so that for the greater cause, or for a greater good. Now some people, they do very weird kind of the austerities. They beat themselves. In some of the religion it is suggested that like you can beat yourself, and they are giving like I did some sinful activity, so I'm punishing myself. So that is not suggested in our scripture, or at least in the goodness part of the scripture. So that comes under like like a mode of ignorance. So here Krishna is explaining that austerity of a body is very important, that taking pain voluntarily to our body so that we will serve someone else, and we can use that pain to for the greater good. And that is a austerity of body. Or what else is the austerity of a body? Taking care of your parents is also, or elderly people is also austerity of a body. Cleanliness is a very, very important thing. It is said in so many places that cleanliness is very important. How cleanliness is connected to the austerity, that taking care of your body, cleaning your body twice, at least 3 times, or even one time, in whatever weather it is and whatever available sources are, it is very, very important that you take care of your body and keep it clean. And that is considered as austerity of a body. And then Prabhupada said that you have to keep your mind also clean by chanting every day Krishna's Mahamantra, and purified thoughts or the good thoughts should come into our mind. So if our body is clean, automatically our thoughts also, it affects our mind, it affects our intelligence. So it's very important what you eat. We had seen that, and how you keep your body, and that cleanliness is very, very important. So whatever trouble you have to go through to keep your body clean and your mind clean, your intelligence clean, you have to take that. So reading scripture is another thing. Like if you chant, you read Krishna Katha, in the morning if you read one Krishna lecture, then throughout the day you will have a wonderful thoughts of a Krishna. But in the morning you will see some very Bollywood sensual song, then throughout the day you will have that kind of a thought. And you really can see that whatever you are feeding to your body, not only through your tongue, but through your eyes, through your ears, whatever is going in, that is what your mind and intelligence is meditating on. Your mind is meditating on and saying that I want that, and intelligence is planning to get that. So it's, you have to be very careful what is your intake, what you are putting inside, and that should be very clean. So when Prabhupada is saying that keep your body clean, and then whatever you are putting inside your body, that should be also in a mode of a goodness, in a uh, in things that will not, or that will affect your consciousness positively. Simplicity, being simple is also, so simplicity, opposite of simplicity is duplicity, right? We are saying something and you are doing something, or being a hypocrite. So that is what is not suggested by the scripture. They said that, like, whatever is there, whatever is your nature, you can express that and be a simple person. You are, it's very important that you express and you tell your real problems, discuss with your Guru Maharaj, your seniors. Do not try to hide it. I mean, because that's a trying to hide, and portraying yourself as a great devotee is the biggest thing or mistakes that you will do in your life. You have to just be simple, be humble, and always know where you are, and always understand that, like, taking the guidance from the seniors is the most important thing. And that also comes under the austerity, because sometimes it's very difficult to show your real self. Sometimes it is very difficult to show that, like, I'm having this, like, really bad abominable thoughts. People think that, like, why should I even express to my Guru Maharaj? Let me be, portray myself as a good devotee. So that kind of advice is not given here by Krishna. Krishna is saying that be simple, be tell, be express. Arjuna would have not expressed his thought that, oh, why I should fight. These kind of a thought are coming into my mind, Krishna. Why should even I do this? Why should I do that? If this kind of a things Arjuna would have not expressed, Bhagavad Gita would have not been there. So you have to be simple. You have to go straightforward, ask your seniors that this is the trouble I'm having. I can't chant. I'm not while chanting I'm doing this kind of activity. How can I overcome that? While hearing the, I don't feel like hearing. I don't feel like, reading, or while reading scripture I'm having these kind of a thought. So you have to go express that. That is a simplicity. So you should have a very a good guide where you can express your heart. Do not go and express it to everyone, because people will take advantage of it, or not everyone is in a position to guide you. So find out a devotee who is not just senior by years, like, he's really doing the activities that is as given by Prabhupada. He's following what he's saying. That is the way you can look at the devotee. You can find out someone who can really are expert in the shastra, so that they can guide you properly. They knows, like, references, because not anyone can say that, like, I can't say to anyone that, like, okay, you have to read Bhagavad Gita every day. I have to give the some kind of a references that where in scripture it is written. So it should not be your thought, but it should be the scripture's thought. It's a senior acharya's thought that you are going to pass on to the others. So find out a devotee who is like that, and then take a advice, suggestion, open your heart to them. It's very important in Krishna consciousness. If you want to stay strong, then you have to find out someone who can guide you all the time. He's superior than you, not at your level. So you will be able to take advice. So, and then you will be able to keep it simple. Your life should be simple. So that is the simplicity. Celibacy we already discussed, and then non-violence. Now we had seen that non-violence are of many types. Not just a second. So non-violence is like definitely not hurting anyone, not hurting any living being for your pleasure. And non-violence physically, and also non-violence means not doing any kind of a violence with your tongue. I mean, your words can be hurtful to others. So that's why your speech should be always truthful as per the scripture, and it should not be hurtful to others. And that is a austerity of tongue that we will see in the next one. But that also comes under non-violence. Anybody would like to comment on it? I'll just take a photo.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I just feel like, not being in the same room with your mother or sister is little, I mean, I'm respecting that, but it's going a little too far. Don't you think so? I mean, you're born from your mother. So,
Yeah, Mataji, there are that's why in Bhagavatam there are so many stories that I was yesterday only discussing with my Guru Maharaj, that they seem so weird, that like how can someone at like that position can do this, but sex forces are so strong that anything can happen. So that is the reason Prabhupada is very strictly saying, and he's not saying by himself, but it is given in the scripture by acharyas that like this is the way it should be. So yeah, it seems to be too far, but it can, I mean, it can happen that like people might. I mean, there is an example that I really don't want to give it right now, but Brahmadev himself had put himself into the position where he is chasing his own daughter, and he just did that like it was a Krishna's leela, and Brahmadev was happily participating in that leela just to show the world that like this can happen, that father is going behind his daughter and with the intention to uh, you know do the sex activities. So it was only in his mind, and then look at this, the one who is the creator, who is the most knowledgeable person, we are so ignorant, insignificant, that we can't control ourselves. And so Mataji, we had seen that like in the world this is all happened and it's happening, so people are doing that. So that is the reason it is said in our scripture. So we are not used to it, or we had not seen it, some of us. So that's why we feel that like that is not possible. In like I remember that like in Bhagavatam also one of the shlok was there, that where right, Vikas Prabhu, correct me if I'm going wrong, but in Bhagavatam, while writing this Bhagavatam, I'm not remembering all the acharyas' name here, that who all was involved. But one of the rishi, he wrote that like shloka, that you should not be alone ever with any kind of you should not be look at any person, you should not be looking at any woman. And that brahmachari who was in that ashram, he was saying that like how it is possible, like he argued with his guru that it is not possible. I mean, you like just by looking, how can I have that, like because I controlled my senses so much that it is not going to happen. And then his guru says that nothing about it, and then he guru uh, tells him that like, okay, I'm going out of town for 2 days, so you take care of this ashram. And then his guru only come in the form of a wonderful woman, and comes to the ashram's door and says that like I just need, like someone is behind me, I need a shelter, and please give me one night stay at your ashram. And he takes her inside, and he looked at that woman, and he just feel that he keeps thinking about that woman whole day, then and then he feels that he almost come to the point that where he really want to be with that woman, and he knock on her door. And when he goes inside, that woman turns into his guru, and his guru said that now you understand what I was saying. So these are the things given. We feel that it is too far, but it is really happening in this world, Mataji. And it had happened previously also, like in the ancient days, and that's why it is given in the scripture.
thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Very good.
Because we can't say that like I'm all controlled, and I can't, I had seen people that like they are chanting everything, and then sometime it is the forces are so strong that they might fall down that time. And that is the reason Prabhupada is giving this strict kind of rules and regulation for us, that do not even try to test yourself, this is what it is. So um, sorry about yeah telling you this, but so we will stop here. It is 8:15. I have to go, and we will see the austerity of a speech, which is very, very wonderful thing, which is very important. So I will see that next in the next class, and after that, I'm going to India for 5 weeks. So Sumati Mataji wanted to volunteer this time to do the classes. I mean, I came to know that Sumati Mataji will I mean, I'll talk to you, Sumati Mataji, later, but 5 weeks she will lead, and Vikas Prabhu and all the Prabhuji, Haladar Das Prabhuji, please help her. And yeah, so
We
thank you
love
so much.
to.
Yeah,
We
I
love
just want this time to lead her because she is now she had been listening, and really wonderful to hear from her. So
Of
I will
course. Yes.
request her Mataji to lead, and please, Vikas Prabhu and Prabhuji, you support her. I will try to join from India, but if I not, I just want to hand over this to someone. You can take one or two verses, whatever verses you want, Mataji. And so I will stop here. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Have a safe journey, Mataji. We like to have you come back safely here. Back.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji. Whoever are in the town here in Maryland can come attend the initiation ceremony, which is at 10:30, Washington DC Potomac Temple, and it's a wonderful thing to attend the initiation ceremony. So I really humbly request that you come for at least some time. There will be a lecture, what is this initiation means, and then there will be a homa. All these wonderful devotees, there are 13 devotees taking initiation, so they will be given a different name. Guru Maharaj always says that this is the time, like the someone who wants to hide their identity, they change their name, they change their address, everything they change, right? So it is like we are changing our identity today so that we will be hiding from the Maya, who is like, always attacking us, forcing us to do activities that like we don't want to. We are just going to hide from today by changing our name. So it's a wonderful ceremony. So those who are here, and it's possible, please. Otherwise, it is available on Fan the Spark Facebook page live. So you can either attend that online or yeah. Thank you. Thank you again.
Mataji,
Sorry.
who is going to initiate at the temple?
My Guru Maharaj, His Grace Vaisheshika Maharaj, he's going to initiate. He's from California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Hari Bol, yeah. Okay, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari Bol, Radhe
Hare
Radhe.
Krishna. Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanyavad.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
धन्यवाद माता जी.